Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back and welcome to New Guitar Day. I was at Long and McQuaid, obviously. And yeah, so we've got a 110E left-handed, full dreadnought, walnut back and side, Sitka spruce top, the ebony fretboard of course, chrome tuners, 20 frets, tusk nut micarta saddles, plastic pegs as always on Taylors. I don't know why they don't put better than plastic pegs. Elixir phosphorus bronze medium, so that's a 1356 gauge. I always thought they came with 12s, but especially on a full-size dreadnought, but yeah, 13's okay. They're still comfy to play, so I ain't complaining. When I do change them, they are going to go to 12s though, but either way. So this is like $1,100 Canadian for the 110. Then we have our GS Mini. Now this is a cool guitar, right-handed of course, because I do play both ways, and we'll talk about the that a little bit more. So the GS Mini I have is actually called the GS Mini-E Koa. So it's an all Koa. It's a solid top for the Koa. The back and sides part of the Koa is actually layered, okay? So we've got 20 frets, chrome tuners obviously, we've got a new bone nut, micarta saddle, X bracing and relief route, of course obviously it's a 6-string acoustic, right? It does have as well 1356 gauge Elixir phosphorus bronze medium strings. Both guitars do come with Taylor gig bags. I mean, I don't think there's a Taylor that doesn't come with a gig bag. Now the electronics, both have electronics. The 110 has the regular Expression 2 system, which just gives you volume, bass, and treble. And then you have this one, which is quite interesting. This actually has Taylor's Expression 2 piezo design elements and features multifunction onboard preamp with built-in chromatic tuner that, by the way, works extremely well. Congratulations, Taylor. Thank you for making a decent tuner. And active tone shaping equalizer, bass, mid, and treble. Bonus, and of course separate volume. Preamp and tuner unit features an LED display for tuning and low battery indication, along with a volume control and 3-band EQ. Preamp tuner is powered by a 9-volt battery. The other preamp system they have out actually uses 2 coin batteries. However, on this system, if you just use the battery only for the preamp use, they say you get over 500 hours, and when using the tuner is over 50 hours. So I'm guessing that's not shutting off your tuner. I mean, you should actually do that. Hello! So I don't know about those numbers, are a little weird. But regardless of the fact, Taylor has a thing going on called Friends and Family. And it's available in Canada, the United States, and I believe Australia. I don't know if it's anywhere else. Other than that, you'd have to check their website. So if you Google search just Taylor's Friends and Family deal that's going on, which ends, by the way, January 2nd, I believe. Basically, you buy any Taylor full-size guitar. So this was like $1,100. You get a second Taylor guitar for virtually next to nothing. The GS Mini sells for $12.99, the Koa one. Now that's Canadian dollars. So if you take off what I actually paid, which was $4.50 on the deal, is all I had to pay extra, that gave me a savings of $850 off. Plus the taxes, of course, just on the Mini. Anyways, I'm sure you guys want to hear these things being played, and we are going to go acoustically and plugged in as well. I've got my Fender Acoustasonic amp out, so we are definitely going to do that. So let me just plug my wireless into the guitar, but I'm not going to turn it on yet. And so we'll do the 110 first. Alright, so let's turn on our wireless here. And I'm just going to put the controls all in the middle. And of course my Fender amp, everything's in the middle for its EQ for bass, mid, and treble. I'm not going to use any reverb though, I'm just going to leave it dry. I find that a way bit crispy, so I'm going to pull the treble and the mid back on the amp a bit. Okay, and all the sound is being recorded right into my Shure condenser mic that's on my DSLR camera, so you're getting the sound of this Fender amp. I mean, this sound is definitely going to change from one amp to another, to a PA system, etc. You know, it's going to sound a lot nicer on a full PA system or going through reference monitors. This is just the Fender Acoustic amp, and yeah, pretty much every guitar I've plugged into it, I've had to, you know, mess around with the EQing for the guitar because this is a very bright amp too, so never mind the electronics. Okay, so that is that guitar. Pretty nice guitar. I actually, I'm not a real huge fan of dreadnoughts, but you know, you gotta kind of have at least one, I guess. Anyway, so let's check out our GS Mini. This will be a little bit more fun and interesting. Maybe I can actually get in front of the camera here better. So anyhow, now keep in mind, I mean, I'm still not that great at right-handed, but I have a little story to tell you in a minute. So anyway. This is going to be the fun part. So I'm having a little bit of problem with those switches, but otherwise I'm getting much better, right? Just takes time and practice. So there's a bit of a visual of this preamp system. It's kind of interesting, and I gotta tell you, there are some things I actually don't like about this preamp. First of all, when you go to pop the battery thing open, you gotta click in on this switch, which is fine. You pop it up, your 9-volt battery's under there, but then before you can squash her back down and lock it, you got to make sure you fed those two wires. There's two wires coming off of the preamp, and I'm guessing there's got to be more than one pickup in this one. It's interesting, or actually no, there probably wouldn't be. Yeah, it's only going to be the one pickup, but it's going to be one for the jack, one for the jack plug-in, one for the pickup. But either way, you gotta be very mindful how you reroute to slide the wires down the little space. It's tricky, but you'll get the hang of it eventually. I mean, so don't force it back together when you do that. But to turn on the tuner, it's actually an on and off switch, which is great, and it does a little pulsy thing too before you actually start to tune, and you know, it lights up. You know, you've got green that's solid, and then your E, and if it's flat or sharp, it's got the arrows, kind of thing. So it works really good for the tuner. I'm quite happy with that. And hey, check it out. They actually gave us a heel strap pin. These were both brand new sealed boxes. I didn't want the cardboard boxes, so we opened up the guitars at Long McQuaid, obviously, and gig bags, throw them in the car, and away we went. One thing I can definitely appreciate about the GS Minis is Taylor actually knows about input jacks on these guitars, but fails miserably on the full-size Taylors with that crummy jack where you can barely even fit any strap there. You definitely need a Nomad adapter for Taylor guitars in order to actually properly secure a strap on to the body end. It's like, in this, it's like already proper and proper depth. So I don't know why they don't use this system in all their guitars, because it's fantastic. So anyways, so enough of the kibitzing on that one. Let's plug in our wireless here. And, well, I've tried this, and I'm going to give you a warning ahead of time. It is not the greatest preamp system, and I'm sure the new one that they have out, which is available as well, which is kind of a couple of little knobs on it. It's got a tuner too. Runs off coin batteries. I'm pretty sure that one's crummy too, because I have heard some people crab about it. I never heard anybody crab about this one specifically, but I guess maybe I'll be the first, because it's horrifying, for at least with the Fender amp anyway. Really shrills out, eh? And that's like half, well actually that's not quite half volume, but bass, mid, and treble are right in the middle. So if we suck back the mid like to 0, yeah, I'm still not feeling it there. Let's kill the treble off and leave some bass. That's a lot better. That actually sounds much better, and I didn't even touch the EQ on the Fender amp. So, but yeah, let's throw full bass up there and get some feedback there. Yep, that'll give us some feedback. Pull the mid back a bit, maybe. Okay. Now, one thing I'd like to give this thing a bit of a saving chance. I like to plug this in, if you guys don't mind, into my PA and run it through my reference monitors and see if that actually helps the cause any. So this would be like going through a regular sound system, more or less, but these are reference monitors. That definitely sounds way better. Let's kill off the reverb. back to mid a little bit. Okay, that's actually a lot better, actually miles better, to be honest. Now, if we go back into our Fender amp here just for a minute, I know this is taking time, but hey, you know, we got to know these things, right? I'll leave the EQ alone where I just had it on the reference monitors. So I pulled back the EQ a bit on the Fender there. So let's bring the volume up a bit more. So my volume is almost at half here on the guitar. Bass and treble are at the halfway point, and I've got the mid backed down about, so it's kind of like halfway between half and bottom. And I just did the EQ at about 930-ish on the mid and the treble, and I left the bass at 12 on the Fender amp. I'm happy with that. Little bit of adjusting. I mean, you're going to have to expect from one acoustic amp to another as well. You're going to have to adjust the EQing somewhere. If you can clean it up with just the guitar, fantastic. If not, clean it up at the amp too. But start with the amp. Not all amps are going to be same kind of sound. I mean, Fender has their voicing, and with there's 2 6-inch speakers in there, that thing. You know, Fishman has their thing, and you know, one amp to another. I mean, you're gonna find some amps will work fantastic with this EQ system and preamp, and others you're gonna have to adjust. So what's my story? Why did I ever do this, other than it's a sick deal? Well, here's the thing. You guys know I had a Yamaha FGX guitar, right-handed cutaway. It's mainly a dreadnought with a cutaway, pretty beefy guitar. I should have actually kept my regular FG800, the one previous to that. Still had a solid top, but it had no electronics where the FGX has, and I kind of need the electronics, but I find that the body was a little bit too big for a full dreadnought in that Yamaha. It was actually cramping and hurting the heck out of my strumming arm for right-handed. And I'm like, I just can't do this anymore. So anyways, to make this deal all happen for me anyways, I gave it up, brought it back to Long McQuaid, and I also gave up my Mexican Strat. And I know some people are going to be like, you did what? Yes, I got rid of the Mexican Strat because, to be honest guys, I prefer the sound of a Tele the best. And besides, it's not like I don't have another Strat. I still have a Strat on the wall, so don't worry. But I thought, you know what, I needed something around this size, and why just pay $1,300? You know, that's just ridiculous. When I can spend $1,100 here, another $450 here. I get the best of both worlds. I get my left-handed full-size Dreadnought 110E, which gives me now 3 left-handed Taylors, and of course we have righty here, which is an all Koa. And I wanted the Koa, you know, even though it's not a solid back and sides for the Koa, but the top at least is solid Koa. I love the look of Koa, and Koa is a pig and a poke. I mean, some Koa woods that you see on Taylor guitars, they're going to be a lot darker. Some will be a lot lighter. You know, some will be extreme dark, which is kind of what I was kind of hoping for. But hey, we didn't know until we opened up the box and opened up the bag, and I was like, ooh, well, hey, this is still pretty nice. You know, it's not overly dark, but it will darken with age, obviously. Taylor, by the way, for their finish on their guitars, at least in their satin ones, they actually use varnish. So it's not like a poly coat or a nitro or anything, it's actual varnish. And that makes it for very thin, very durable finish. And at the same time, you know, you're not going to chip any gloss off of anything because there is none. So that's another benefit. And with varnish, it's a very micro thin coat they use, so the wood can still breathe properly and it can actually resonate properly too. It's almost like having nothing on the wood, except there is a very minimal micron coat of it, which is just all you need anyways, and it's just fantastic. But you know, even with 13s on this, it's pretty comfortable because it is a shorter scale than a full size, so the thicker strings are going to be more slinkier, whereas if I drop this down to 12s, it's going to be more tension, which also means it's going to be tighter and harder to push down on the strings. So this I'm going to leave at 1356. Well, this puppy here is going to 1253s when it's time to change the strings. Until then, I'll leave the 13s on it from the factory. And that's weird. I thought they always had the 12s, but guess not. So anyway, they're still comfortable to play though on that, but I'm just a 1253 kind of guy. It's my thing. But yeah, so there is our 2 new guitars that we scored today from Long McQuade. And unless some kind of a financial miracle happens, that's going to be the end of the guitars that I get to buy for at least another year. I think I've got quite a few. But I do want one more Taylor. Only one more acoustic comes into this house ever. And that's the 224 Deluxe CE. I get my hands on that one, boy, I'll be in my like cloud 50, you know, like I love that Alcoa one. Even though it's got a gloss finish, I still love it. It's fantastic guitar. But yeah, so that's kind of the story of why I did this, is because I needed a smaller body guitar, but you know, why just spend 13 when you can, you know, spend like, what was it, well, 1100 plus 450, so that's 11, 12, 13, 14, 1400 and 1500. So 1100 and 450, that's $1,550 plus taxes and obviously and all that jazz, and I get like 2, so basically 1,300, add 200 and some bucks, and I got 2 guitars, and I saved over 850 on this one. So if you are looking for a Taylor right now, Family and Friends deal, like I said, it ends January 2nd, and you can really score. Now you do get a choice between the all mahogany or this particular Koa, or the BT1, I believe it is, Baby Taylor BT1. I'm not a real fan of the Baby Taylor, but if you like it, it's your thing. I really don't care. I had one before and I hated it with a passion and then some. But so yeah, just, you know, and if they, you know, don't have this one, you know, maybe you can get another one. This is actually our second Family and Friends deal we did in the last, not even a couple of weeks. But that's another thing which was fun too. Yeah, awesome guitars, really loving them. Hopefully this is, well, I actually already know this is going to solve my problems for strumming. It is so comfortable to play. And then it gives me this other full-size Dreadnought, which does sound completely different. So do stay tuned too. I'm going to do a versus video of the 110 E versus the 114E, which is an Academy type body. It's not a Dreadnought, versus my 214 CE cutaway. And so we're going to do a versus video on that probably sometime in the next day or two. You know, we'll get around to it. But yeah, in the meantime, definitely go to your local Long & McQuade if you're in Canada. If you're not, well, Guitar Center, wherever, you know. I mean, Taylor, whoever's carrying Taylor, you know, if the deal is on in your country, then hey, you got a good shot there at getting some really nice new gear. There are conditions on this deal. You do have to buy basically a full-size guitar to get the deal on either the Mini or the BT1, and you know, which is fine. Who cares? It's cool. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm going to have the links, by the way, just for the Long McQuade site for these 2 particular guitars. So if you do live in Canada, click on them, or if you want to know more about them spec-wise and stuff that I didn't talk about, you can read the specs there on both guitars. And go from there. But I really like that Koa, and that Koa is definitely going to darken with age, which is really cool too. So I'm looking forward to the more darkness of it happening. So that's going to be really sweet. Anyway, that's all we got. So thanks for watching. Comments below. You guys know how it goes. If you're not subscribed, please, if you don't mind, and smash the bell for notifications for videos when I upload them. You'll be notified and see what else I got going on. See you on the next one. Bye.